Rivers State Governor, the government of Rivers State has responded to the state of emergency and suspension by the president. Now, mind you, anything that happens to Rivers State and its oil facilities, its oil production, is going to affect over 30% of what Nigeria produces every day. Anything that happens to Rivers State's oil facilities, oil production, it is going to affect over 30% of the 1.2 million barrels per day, in quotes, that we produce. So this is a dicey situation for the people of Rivers, the government of Rivers, and the president of the country. Let's look at what Sim Fubara has said. He says, "Dear Rivers people, I address you today with a deep sense of responsibility and calm as we navigate this unfortunate moment in our state's political history. Since assuming office as your governor, all my actions and decisions have been guided by my constitutional oath of office and a great sense of duty. We prioritize the protection of lives and property and ensured the continuous progress of our dear state. Even in the face of the political impasse, we have remained committed to constitutional order and the rule of law, putting the interest of our people above all else. This was why immediately after Mr. President's intervention to broker peace, we did not hesitate to implement the agreed terms in good faith, including welcoming back commissioners who had previously resigned on their own volition. Furthermore, we moved swiftly to comply with the Supreme Court's judgment. Immediately, we received the certified true copy of the judgment to return the state to normalcy. These steps were taken not for personal gains, but for peace, unity, and stability in our dear state. Unfortunately, at every turn, members of the Rivers State House of Assembly frustrated our efforts, thus making genuine peace and progress difficult. Our priorities remain the security of lives and property and advancing the well-being and prosperity of Rivers people. Yes, we have political disagreements, but good governance had continued, salaries have been paid, and great projects were being executed to move the state forward. Above all, Rivers State is safe, secure, and peaceful under our watch. At this critical time, I urge all Rivers people to remain peaceful and law-abiding. We will engage with all relevant institutions to ensure that our democracy remains strong and that Rivers State continues to thrive. We have always been a resilient people, and we will face this situation with wisdom, patience, and unwavering faith in the democratic process. God bless Rivers State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria." This is from Fubara. There are so many arguments this morning about what Fubara can do. He can take this to court because from what we are getting, the president does not have the right to suspend the governor. He has the right to declare a state of emergency, but he has to do that with the approval of the National Assembly. Now, a governor can only be removed by impeachment. However, within 2 days, whatever Tinubu is doing, the state of emergency, he has notified the Assembly, National Assembly. Within 2 days, it can be approved. That is legal, the state of emergency. But the particular suspension of the governor and an elected governor, another elected official in Nigeria, according to the Constitution, is suspending another elected official, is something that lawyers need to come and start explaining to us. If you're a lawyer and watching this broadcast, please tell us what is the case here. Can the president suspend a governor? It is only the House of Assembly I know that can impeach. If there's a case of war, things like this can happen. But Nigeria is not at war. You cannot suspend the governor just like that. Now, within a day, 2 pipelines have been blown. And the excuse for this state of emergency was the first one in the morning and the other one in the night. When the witch cried yesterday night and the baby died this morning, tells you a lot about what is happening in Nigerian politics. This precedent was set by Obasanjo Most of the things the anomalies we are experiencing in Nigeria today and in our democracy, we can trace it from these military guys, Buhari, Obasanjo, and co. Jonathan did his own. He did not remove any governor. But Tinubu now is just like that. I've said it that this is affecting our oil output to 1.2 million barrels per day. Rivers State responsible for over 20 to 30% of that output. Imagine that it disrupts the activities Rivers State. We are having reports that, and we don't know the whereabouts of Fubara, but according to People's Gazette, they are saying that Fubara is surrounded at the government house by soldiers. We know that soldiers have gone to make sure that there's peace and security in that state. Fubara has been surrounded by soldiers. And let me read it out. Just in, soldiers hold Fubara. I don't want to use the word hostage because the People's Gazette, they can be very, very interesting at times. Soldiers hold Fubara in government house. I want to appeal to River State people and the stakeholders involved that they should treat this situation with wisdom. Because the kind of system we are running, the kind of people you are dealing with, they are not human beings. I've said it before, if Nigeria is going to get better, Nigeria getting better is at the disadvantage of our politicians. These people are there for their personal interest and not for your interest at all. These people have no conscience. These people don't see you. If the people are not their priority, I don't see anybody meaning well for anybody in River State or in Nigeria at large. If the people are not their priority, I'll be saying it over and over again. Don't be deceived by these their promises, by their rhetorics, by their manipulations, and by the baby grammar they are speaking. If they really send you Nigeria, which is an oil-rich nation that have almost most of what it needs, he has it within it, will not be owing over 40 trillion naira. If these people really had you, like they really wanted good for the masses, we'll all be getting subsidy from the government in left, right, center. But this is not the case. Somebody will sit down and just give an order and say it is for the good interest of Nigeria and the people. Finish like that. But justice should be seen to be served. So Fubara has an option to challenge this in court. But however, I've told you, I said I'm from the look of things, the president is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The vice president is, for me, the way I look at it, because Shetima, I'm not seeing functioning. It seems Tinubu is now the vice president. Now, in charge of the legislature is Akpabio, who is a party of the president. Now, in charge of the judiciary is Wike. If you will, that is my own speculation. So, if Governor Siminala Fubara is taking this thing to court, he's going to meet these guys that I just mentioned at every arm of government. Remember, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, they are all equal. Nobody is higher than the other. Nobody has more status than the other. But you see, another executive arm that is elected is suspending another executive arm that is elected in Rivers State. So if he goes to court, the judiciary, Nigerians are even losing trust and hope in every of our institutions. Since APC took over power, they have been bastardizing and destroying and making sure our institutions are nothing to write home about. Which institution? Are you not surprised that in Anambra State, people cannot buy form of a PDP? Because the sentiment there is that the INEC is pandering to people who are not buying form under a PDP. When last the PDP, one of the biggest parties in Africa, in Anambra State, people are not buying form because of the perceived destruction of our institutions by a particular party called APC. Started with Buhari. Let me read the People's Gazette. Governor Siminala Fubara and his family members are being held hostage at the government house, Port Harcourt. This is the People's Gazette I'm reading. People's Gazette. by a contingent of heavily armed soldiers Tuesday night, the People's Gazette has learnt. The development comes moments after President Bola Tinubu invoked Section 180 of the Nigerian Constitution to proclaim a state of emergency in Rivers. The Nigerian leader based his controversial move on a prolonged and rapidly escalating political feud led by state lawmakers loyal to Nyesom Wike, who commenced impeachment proceedings against Mr. Fubara last week to settle scores in his fallout with Mr. Wike, who engineered Mr. Fubara's election in 2023 despite corruption charges. Rivers government sources told reporters that soldiers carrying out the president's instruction on declaring the state of emergency barricaded all entrances and exits to the government house immediately after the president's speech. Attempts by Mr. Fubara and family to pack their belongings out of the government house have been rebuffed by the soldiers, who suppressed all movement around the premises. "We are being held hostage," an affected official told reporters from the scene of Tuesday night. They said they don't have instruction to let anyone leave the premises. It was unclear whether the soldiers implemented their duties as instructed or were overzealous in following specific orders. Now, spokesperson for the Nigerian Army and Defense Headquarters did not immediately return requests seeking comments about the soldiers' treatment of the Fubaras. Now, Mr. Tinubu's declaration to suspend the feuding parties from office for 6 months, effective Tuesday, sparked furious debates across social media as netizens argued whether the president had constitutional grounds to suspend an elected governor whom the state lawmakers have not yet impeached. Efforts to impeach Mr. Fubara began on Monday, barely 24 hours before Mr. Tinubu imposed an emergency ordinance. Now, lawyers like Inibehe Effiong and Folari Falana have excoriated the president for taking the law into his own hands without regard for the Constitution's position. The president named the retired Chief of Naval Staff, Ibok Ete-Ekwe Ibas, as the military administrator in Rivers in the interim. Remember the pictures Wike had with this current administrator, Ibok Ete-Ekwe Ibas. Look at how the game's playing. Supreme Court gives a verdict. 27 lawmakers return. 27 lawmakers return. Supreme Court tells the governor, submit the budget. The governor takes the budget to present to the lawmakers. The lawmakers were indoors. Nobody has contact with each other. We have reports that the governor was shut out of the assembly or wherever the lawmakers were. The governor took the budget to go and submit to the lawmakers, but he was shut out. After that, they went on recess. I think they adjourned indefinitely. The House adjourned indefinitely. Coming back, we saw impeachment. Some hours later, a bomb explodes somewhere in Rivers State. After few hours, the president declares state of emergency, sacks the governor, suspend the governor for 6 months. The deputy and the lawmakers, only the judiciary, appoint a new administrator. In the evening, another bomb explodes. Remember, Niger Delta militants, tough ones, are eating money. Some of them have contracts with the federal government. No reason for them to start blowing up anything. This Tompolo, Ateketom and Co., they are eating fat well. So who are the ones? Is it the job people? Is it the militant? Is it another group of militants that are responsible for blowing up these pipelines? If you look at the way events are lining up themselves, you know that the witch that cried yesterday night and the child that died this morning, there's a correlation, there's a connection to that. When you read the Nation's newspaper yesterday, they outlined the 19 sins of Fubara, and that led to the impeachment. Is a governor really the security officer of a state? When you say that some people blew up whatever, blah blah, the government, in quote, gave contract to some people, and the people could not protect these facilities. It is when they wanted to impeach Fubara that these facilities are being blown up. There are some people the government is paying money to protect the pipelines from being blown up. But now you are blaming the governor who doesn't have control of the police, who doesn't have control of the army. Who is the commander-in-chief? It is the president. Just small thing happen now. They withdraw security officials from governor, use soldiers, block government house. Nobody goes in, nobody comes out, according to the People's Gazette. So what is going on? Is the governor actually the chief security officer of any state in Nigeria? With this precedent, some other weak governors will be afraid. That's why I'm even shocked till tomorrow. See, it didn't shock me. Anambra State, nobody picked governorship form. Guy. Because some people believe that the highest bidder, the party in power, will just add 1 and 2, minus 3 and 4, then declare a winner. Nobody's picking form in Anambra State. So the governor actually is, I've told us that this system does not work. Until clear for everybody eye, those that are supporting all these things that the government is doing is because it's not your turn. Everybody will always have a turn. I'm telling you, this is how life happens to everybody. The table always turns. Today, you are supporting because of tribalism or whatever you think. I don't know why you are supporting a particular government, even for the betterment of the people. Me, I'm particular about the people. I'm not particular about anybody. I know politicians usually all the same. They don't have your interest. I've worked with politicians. These people are just using PR to make you feel happy, like they are working for you. Look at Obasanjo, look at Abiodun, look at Dagonte. Dagonte wanted to invest in Ogun State. Obasanjo had to be there. The governor needs to be there. Now, when they start building, investors na them. Shareholders na them. Employment na them. They control. This is a class society, my brother. So any politician is in that class of people that will want to do for them first. Then the crumbs, they run it down to you. Whether it is Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba, I don't care. Some people are using Yoruba local, Yoruba this, Yoruba that to take away resources for themselves, empower themselves and their personal interests at the expense of the people who are myopic, who are most at times foolish to understand that these politicians, that's their normal way. Politicians use their aid, use their friends, use their family members for their personal gain. Not talk of you, a bloody civilian, a bloody Nigeria, a bloody masses that he doesn't even know. Do you think tribe is what is making them take off their decisions? It is a means to an end. So whatever that is happening in Rivers, if you are supporting it because of tribe or because of bigotry, I pity for you and your generation. I told you first, I'm a human being before Igbo, before Christian. So if you are not looking at the human factor, see, we know that Fubara and Wike, they are all the same. An election was conducted. See how Wike was so rascal. Even I saw a video of coppers being affected, blood. Look at. I think coppers were unaligned during the election that brought in Fubara. Only God knows what assignment they had together, what agreement they had together against the will of the people. Remember, this Fubara mandate is against the will of the people. So who is supporting Fubara? I'm not supporting Fubara. The mandate of Fubara is against the wish of the people. The people, in quote, as reported, actually voted for the Labour Party, but Wike did what he did. During the election day, we saw they write this one, they cancel this one, they write this one, they cancel. Go to hell. That's what they will tell you. Go to court. Go to court. That's the Nigerian slang. National, international bodies, international community, they are watching what is happening in Nigeria today. This administrator who is going to sign for 6 months now, you want to render Rivers State unproductive, tension in Rivers State, You want to render the state unproductive. I said it at the beginning of my broadcast. Over 30% of our 1.2 million barrels per day, over 30% is being produced from Rivers State. Over 30%. And you don't think it is very, very much important for us to understand that this is a dicey. Some people, because of they want to take over a state politically, aside Lagos, another strong political house is Rivers State. The ABC wants to make sure whatever Maradona, whatever gimmicks, whatever games they are playing, they want to make sure that they take over Rivers State. They want to make sure they take over Rivers State. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Tell me, what are Nigerians going to do about this now? The judiciary compromise, legislature compromise, because this legislature, they are going to approve what Tinubu has said. Whether you like it or not, they are going to approve it. So what are you going to do about it? That's the big question. What are you going to do about it? Now, Fubara has reacted. According to People's Gazette, soldiers are holding him, his family, hostage at Rivers Governor's residence. Let's see what happens. This is just early morning. Let's see, by the end of afternoon or evening, we'll get more reports on what is happening in Rivers State and in Nigeria today.